Hey, beautiful soul. Welcome to The Cosmic Catch-Up. I'm Corri.
And I'm Dana. We're real-life sisters who said no thanks to the 9-to-5 grind and yes, please, to the stars, spirit, and soul-led living.
Around here, we're talking ascension, astrology, human design, sound healing, and the messy magic of waking up.
So if you've ever thought, there's got to be more than this, you're our people. Two sisters, deep talks, whole lot of magic. Let's catch up. Hi, Corri.
Hi, Dana. Welcome back to The Cosmic Catch-Up, everybody. Sounds like ketchup. Like eating ketchup.
Catch up. When it
Catch up.
Catch with an A and a C, not a K-E. Yeah, whenever it does the automatic transcript of this, it spells it ketchup.
Yeah.
But I have to go in and change.
I think of that every time. Well, ketchup or ketchup, however you want to say it.
Is that our Kansas accent or the Texas accent coming through?
I feel like it's Texas.
Okay, it might be.
Hey, Kansas friends, tell us if that's Kansas or Texas.
Texas.
Okay, well, let's start with some astrology today, right? Because there's a lot going on.
Oh, my goodness, there is. Well,
Filming this in mid-April.
yeah, well, Friday the
17th?
17th. I had to check the
Words.
calendar. Words are hard. Dates are hard at this point.
They are.
We had the Aries full moon, which included 7 or 8 planets and points in the sign of Aries, which I think some astrologers are saying has never happened before. Others are saying they can trace it back to the 1600s. Either way, never in our lifetimes
been a long time.
have we had this number of planets with a new moon in the sign of Aries. So
Is it specifically in the sign of Aries or any sign?
in the sign of Aries.
Okay.
Specifically in the sign of Aries. So just add it to the list of unprecedented astrological events that we've been experiencing for the last, 7 years.
Yeah.
I mean, every day I feel like it's another unprecedented event. But Aries, as we remember, is the first sign of the zodiac. It's about beginnings and initiations. So this is a huge time for new beginnings. And we talk about the start of new Earth and timeline splitting. And there's just so much energy and fluctuations hitting the planet, whether it's solar flares or the Schumann resonance or ascension symptoms, all these things. So it's just really showcasing, I feel like, that now in this time is the start of something new. So Aries can feel restless. It can want to move and take action. It can be somewhat impulsive. It can be very assertive. But all of this Aries energy is traditionally about the self. It's about your authenticity. It's about who you are. And we all have Aries in our natal charts. It could be different houses. It varies based on your time of birth, which creates your rising sign, and that's the flow of the clock in your birth chart. So it can be, but everybody has it. Mm-hmm. So wherever this new moon was and all of these planets transiting is where the area of life you'll likely be experiencing big new beginnings. But collectively, we are all experiencing new beginnings. I think the planets that are in there are the fast moving ones. So Mercury, the sun, the moon, Mars all move a bit faster than the slower ones in there, which would be Neptune and Saturn, which are new entrances into the sign of Aries and will be there for a number of years yet. And Chiron is slower moving, but it's finishing its time in Aries. So
See ya. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. I'm ready for you to be out of my house.
out of your house.
My Chiron return. I'm done.
You finished that. You're past that aspect of it, which is the Chiron return. For anybody listening, is when Chiron takes about 52 years to make its way through the entire zodiac. And when Chiron returns to the same spot it was in your natal birth chart, it's a time of stepping into new and higher wisdom. So Chiron representing the wounded healer, if there are wounds that you've been working on healing, after that Chiron return, you tend to step into that wisdom phase of life. If you have not been working on those wounds at all, then a Chiron return will bring all of that stuff up again for you to face. So it doesn't have to be scary if you've been doing your work, and you've been doing your work, and I don't imagine it was terrible for you.
No, I don't think it was, but it's this idea of the Chiron. Dun, dun,
well,
dun.
dun, dun, dun. Chiron is there to help us, as all of these energies are.
Yeah.
So I think the big news, though, is with Neptune and Saturn. And those this placement, they both sort of soften the Aries energy. So Neptune is a planet of spirituality and oneness. It's the higher heart, it's compassion, it's our connection to the divine. It also can blur boundaries and cause confusion, creates illusion or disillusionment kind of things. But it's spiraling us up in our spiritual evolution. So when it comes to Aries, I think really a lot of it is trying to show it softens the Aries energy a bit, so we're not quite as impulsive. We're not quite as aggressive. We're going to tame that a little bit for the next 14-ish years to bring it into more of that divine masculine energy within each of us. So I'm happy for that Neptune and Aries.
Yeah.
But it's going to start having us question a little bit of our own identities. Like, who am I? What do I stand for? What do I like? What do I not like? So again, it's a spiritual awakening for many people.
What's interesting when you say that about identity too, and I think about with human design, and you and I both have an open identity center. Mm-hmm. We've always questioned our identity. Who am I? What and having that flexibility and fluidity in our identity versus those with definition who have always had a sense of who they were. I'll be curious how this impacts that idea of sense of self, where we're used to a little bit of ebb and flow. Those that aren't, I'm curious.
We're
curious how that's going to work out.
We're going to sit back and observe. Yeah. I think really it's waking up, one, the divine masculine within all of us. And two, it's waking us up to our true identity as spiritual beings. So beings of light, beings of spirit, having a human experience versus the other way around. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be fun to see how it continues to evolve over the next 14-ish years. I forget, but that's about the time it spends in a sign. And then we have Saturn. So Saturn is the planet, rules Capricorn and was the original ruler of Aquarius. It's about boundaries. It's about rules. It's about discernment. It's about, taking the right steps, doing the work kind of thing. It's the responsibility planet it's the adulting planet is what I like to call it. So that is adding a new level of maturity to the sign of Aries that says, don't immediately rush in. I know we have the impulse to do that, but let's take a step back and look at this. It's basically telling us to take responsibility for ourselves. It's saying, okay, there is no external thing coming to save you from your life or from your problems. It's now time for you or me as the owner of myself to step up and take responsibility for myself, my choices, my actions, my beliefs, everything that makes up who I am. I now am taking responsibility for that and choosing how I'm going to move forward. So I love that it's actually, I think for me personally, I love both of these planets in this sign of Aries, but other astrologers might not. So, take it or leave it. But I feel very optimistic about where our collective energy is heading with these planets in this sign.
Well, especially because Aries is a little like a bull in a china shop, or can be. So this tempers that.
It does.
Which I think is important, especially in the current environment that we're in, and especially with there's quote unquote wars, or you see a lot of even people just not getting along, right? There's a lot of fighting in the world. It doesn't have to be a formal war, just fighting differences of opinion versus how can we look at what brings us together, and to your point, our spiritual nature. I think that's important that we have that to help us.
It is. I think right now the difference is having such a high concentration of the personal planets moving through Aries. That is amplifying the intensity of the external world. So as we move, again, get further on into the year, and the sun is moved into, on the 19th, it moves into Taurus. Venus is already in Taurus and finishing its trip. We'll have Mercury moving in there. And then I think in May or soon after, not too far along, Mars will move into Taurus as well. So we get those personal planets moving through, will lessen the intensity of that Aries energy. But again, especially if you have personal planets or placements in the sign of Aries, you're also likely feeling way more intensified during this time than you have been. So yeah, as those personal planets move out, we'll feel it a little bit more softer in that Aries energy.
But then we're gonna have a bunch of personal planets in Taurus.
Oh yeah, but Taurus is like the divine feminine power. So it's all rising up. But I feel like the bigger news is at the end, April 26th, which we're coming up on, is when Uranus moves into Gemini.
That's a big one.
That's a big one. Yes, it is. It's at its final degrees of Taurus now, which is the anaretic degree, crisis degree, things coming up. So we've talked about instability in financial markets across the board. One thing that Taurus rules is financial markets. So earth resources, all of that's been coming up in the news. And again, it's interesting to watch and observe, knowing that this stuff is happening, knowing that it's on time to happen. Mm-hmm. And this is where we get to really practice that that Saturn in Aries is really of like, okay, how am I going to react to this? Am I going to freak out and have a lot of fear? Or am I going to say, this is all part of the movie and it's all moving us forward? And this is like, oh, wow. Whenever I see a crazy headline, I'm like, oh, that's an interesting plot twist or a storyline in this movie. And I'm like, okay, whatever, moving on. Enjoy it while you can. And if you don't enjoy it, don't give attention to it. Yeah. But yeah, so once we have this planet of Uranus moving into Gemini, I hate to say it, guys, but time's going to speed up even more. I feel like already the year has flown by.
I mean, the fact that April is almost done. It's like, it feels like we just blinked and it was started.
Yeah, for real. And that's every month. And then as this outer planet moves into an air sign, which is air is the fastest moving element. And we have Pluto now in the air sign. And now we have Saturn and Neptune in a fire sign, the second fastest moving. Like everything, again, we get like this another like giant boost of energy pushing us forward. And then in July, we have Jupiter moving into Leo, another fire sign for the next year. So again, faster moving energy that's just going to keep propelling us forward. 2026 is a pivotal year. I mean, in our evolution, as every year has been, but every year brings a different flavor to it. And again, as a reminder, we're in that fire horse year. So horses run fast and fire moves fast. And so do whatever you need to do to take care of your nervous system. We have a couple more months of Jupiter in Cancer, and that Jupiter in Cancer energy a lot of it is great for self-care. So Cancer is a nurturing energy. It's a very motherly energy. It's a trust of our intuition, of what we need. It's our needs in our private space. So if you need time by yourself, if you need time with your loved ones, if you need ice cream and a blanket and your favorite show to binge watch, take it. Do that as much as you can. So it's really about discerning, what do you need for self-care?
It's an interesting pairing then, as you talk about Aries and the self and looking inward, but also with Jupiter and Cancer and focusing on self-care. So again, it's a lot about the self.
It is right now. It is. I think that is really the message, I think, overall, as we evolve, in that, again, we're all having our own experiences of reality. We're all the main characters of our own story. We as souls came to experience physicality and this density and human lives. And so again, it's not really about anybody else. This is your own personal journey that you're on. And these astrological energies are helping remind us of that, of like, okay, this is your story. And this is if this is a video game and that you're the avatar, what do you want to play? What do you want to make of it? Yeah. So a lot of these energies are focused on that self. And as we hear every time we fly a plane, put your own oxygen mask on first before you can help anyone else.
Yeah. Well, let's talk more about the self.
The self. Okay, let's do it.
And this idea of as everything is moving very fast, it's really not about waiting. And I've seen a lot of people, I shouldn't say seen, I've heard several people, maybe not a lot, maybe I'm embellishing a little bit, but it has come up that I'll just be glad when the financial system's changed over. I'll be glad when certain things collapse. I'll be glad, like waiting. Like I'm waiting for all these things to happen. And I would say, I feel that too.
Me too.
I'm ready for things to continue, but we do see them moving. Mm-hmm. But I think the piece of that is this idea of surrendering, letting go, and trusting. One, trusting in divine timing, but not trusting and waiting, trusting and moving. And the energy is urging us forward. So it's not, and you mentioned there's not a savior. There's no one coming to save us. We're saving ourselves. And so what does that look like for us? So yes, things are moving ahead. How do we take action in our own lives to continue moving forward? And I think we've talked about, even in the last podcast, about if there's one thing you do, focus on love, because that puts out a great vibration that helps us move forward. But we need to stop waiting for a sign, or waiting for clarity, or waiting for the angels to come and sing to us and tell us what's happening or what's coming up next, right? But it's really letting go of maybe the control of outcomes that we feel. And I have certainly been working really hard on letting go of control. As you know, I'm a control freak. And with all these life changes I have in my life, and I'm still coping, processing, and sometimes it doesn't feel real. Sometimes it feels hard because I do have to keep moving forward. And we had our garage sale. That was like, check, one thing to move forward, clean out the house, get stuff going. But when I look ahead, there's still a list of things, and it feels very overwhelming. But I can't just sit and hope it gets done. I have to keep moving forward.
Yeah, I think there can be a misconception around, because you hear the word surrender a lot in the spiritual community, like surrender to the universe, surrender to the plan, your spirit guides and all that. And you do want to look for signs because they can help guide you on your path. But I think what you're talking about is that surrender isn't doing nothing and waiting. Right. Surrender requires trust, as you said, not trying to control the outcomes, but keep doing things, like keep taking actions that feel aligned. So versus like sitting around going, okay, well, I'm just going to wait for someone to knock on my door and tell me everything is better. Instead, it's like, okay, I'm going to trust that everything's going to get better, but I'm also going to do things that are in alignment with how I want to be living and how I want my future to unfold.
Absolutely. I think for me too, and something maybe we all sometimes struggle with, is this idea that something else is going to come along to help us feel better inside, or to change how we feel inside. And like, I think
if this happens, I'll be happy.
Yes.
If this happens,
if I get this,
then I'll have enough money. Or if this happens, then I'll finally, my dreams will come true. Yeah.
But instead, it's okay. Well, how can I keep moving forward on those dreams, regardless of the other pieces of it that haven't quite come together?
Yeah.
And right now, I mean, I've had people say, okay, so how, essentially I have to do this dance of, we have to get our house ready, sell our house. Once the house is sold, find a new house, then find an apartment to live in part-time with. So it's like all these pieces, and it will make your head explode if you think too much about it. And for me, I'm trusting. I really am surrendering that the house will sell at the right time to the right people. We will find the right, say, perfect house in San Antonio
at the right time
for the right amount of money, and that the apartment will fall in line. Like everything will just happen the way it's supposed to, but it doesn't mean I'm just going to sit and hope it gets done. I'm still moving forward with, okay, what can I do to help make the house look its best? How can I pack things up earlier, make things easier? So I'm still moving forward, but it is challenging, right? And I just want it all to go well, and I want to know what's the house I'm going to get. I want to know how much our house is going to sell for. I want to know all these things. And the way when I look back and say, okay, well, the universe guided us to move to another city, so I have to trust that the universe is going to guide us in these other areas too, and it's all going to work out. But letting go of that control is really, really hard.
So what do you do when you realize that you're holding on tight, or that you're trying to control? Like, what do you physically do? Like, do you go for a walk? Do you like what do you do?
Well, I do call on my guides, and I say, help me let go of this.
Okay.
That's a good question, because I have found I'm not doing it like I used to.
That's great.
And part of it to me is just the recognition of that it's happening.
Like once we notice,
like once you see it,
oh, I'm doing it again.
Yeah. Okay. You can release, you can let go. I always find even just taking a few deep breaths sometimes help a lot. the nervous system, we talked about that last time. The nervous system is going to be so critical in times like this, not just for me, but in the environment that we're in, is checking in with your nervous system. And again, I think breathing exercises are really good for that, whether it's a meditation, and there's even short ones you can find on YouTube. I found this woman, and I don't even know her name, but she came across my YouTube, and she was doing this 7-day challenge. And it was 5 requests, I guess, to ask of your spirit team every morning when you wake up. And I'm not going to say what they are because I don't remember off the top of my head, but I did record it.
But it helped you?
Well, I did record it. And so now I'm every morning, right when I wake up, I play it and I repeat it. And essentially it's asking your spirit team to guide you throughout your day, to make sure that you're protected. Much of what we already do, but it was also get rid of any negative energy that I may come across my path, stay focused on bigger and like better things versus the negative and whatnot. So anyway, there's 5 things. So I'm really trying to put that into practice. Okay. And I think if I do it enough, maybe I'll eventually remember what the 5 things are. She said it so lovely though. And it's like, oh, okay. So I just repeat what she says every morning. But I think that's really important too, because I also want to, and I've been told many times through different mediums that I never ask my spirit team for help.
So many of us, I think, forget to ask for help.
And they won't jump in unless you ask.
We've just been conditioned to do things on our own.
That's right.
So much so that it's hard to remember to ask.
It is. So this is making a conscious action every morning to say, help me throughout my day. Help me where I need it. Show up, because I think we always can call on our guides, and I'm really bad about asking for help in general. And so by doing that first thing in the morning, I'm trying to set the stage that, hey, I am open to your support, your help and support. And I think even that can help us move forward, especially when we're feeling like we need control. It's just, hey, guys, I'm struggling right now. Help me.
Help me let go of control. Or do you feel like that is working for you? Have you noticed a difference?
I would say I notice quickly when I'm trying to control. It's like, oh, yep, I see it. Okay, I see it.
Letting go.
I'm letting go. I'm giving it back to you guys to figure out, right? And so that still feels hard, but I think it's progress. For me, it's progress.
Yeah, you're noticing the progress in yourself, and I think that's the most important thing. And to give yourself a little pat on the back for that. Every little baby step deserves a pat on the back and a celebration.
Yeah, there's a lot of, because I'm thinking about, we're going to have to invest in some fix up for the house. And so I'm seeing dollar signs, cha-ching, cha-ching. And for many of us, there might be like a number that you like to have in the bank. Well, when that number dwindles, what do you do, right? You start to kind of panic and freak out. And my spirit team has said, you're fine. You don't need to worry. But it's certainly below what I'm used to having. And as I continue, we're getting ready to go on a trip. And so all these things. So I've been very consciously aware of that for quite some time. And so anytime I start to feel a little anxious when that comes up, I just say, okay, guys, I need you to relieve my anxiousness. I need you to take this away. And it does move, but it drifts back. It comes in and out, And I have to remind myself there is money available. But this is the funny, not funny. I'm more worried about what my financial advisor will ask me if I say I need some money.
Me too.
I'm like, don't look at me. Don't just give me the money.
I don't want to go to them and be like, I need to take money out. And they'll be like, oh, that's a bad idea. Right. I don't want to be lectured. And then I go through this script in my mind of like, it's okay, Dana. It's your money.
That's right.
You can do whatever you want. And you can say, thank you for that advice. I'm going to do this anyway. But I worry about that. I'm more worried about that too. And I have to give myself a pep talk.
Yeah.
I haven't done it yet, but I will need to.
Yeah. And that's
probably sooner rather than later.
It's more so that sometimes when I'm like, oh, well, how am I going to do this? And I'm like, well, there is money there, but I don't want to ask for it. And it's not even asking, right? It's telling them. But then she'll ask me questions that I don't want to answer.
Yeah. You can say it's none of your business.
I mean,
none of your GD business.
And she's a lovely woman, but they're very much in the 3D, right? 3D, and it's easy to get caught up in that 3D versus saying, wait a minute, they don't understand where we're going.
No.
And the fact that this is not going to be an issue long term. And so I'm going to use it now when I need it. So but it's okay. But then it's like, oh, well, how much should it be? You should want to do one and done. I don't want to have to go back to the well. All the things. Anyway, that's what plays out in my head often.
I feel you. Yeah. When you said that, I'm like, that's the same reason I'm nervous.
Yeah. So we have this, but to your point, at the end of the day, it's ours.
It's ours.
So it doesn't really matter. But
I have to give myself pep talks.
Regardless, I think it's important. So back to your question of like, how do you calm it? I think it's just calling it out, and then whatever works for you, trying to get back to center. Because I think at the end of the day, we still need to continue moving forward. But we don't want to do it with an anxiousness. Like even when I'm writing a check for whether it's school stuff or whatever, I continue to say I give with love.
And it comes back tenfold.
Because you don't want to do it out of anxiousness or regret or fear, because that's the energy you're putting out with it. And you want that money to come back in a good way, not with gunk on it.
Right. So I'm going to shift gears a little bit and talk out of both sides of my mouth.
Oh, my favorite.
And I'm going to loop in some human design.
Oh, I'm here for that.
Because we just talked about at the beginning of this of saying, don't just wait for something, right? But we do want to look for the signs. If we ask our team for help, we do want to be aware, and we want to look for the signs that they're giving us to help us guide us on the highest path. But when it comes to human design, someone like me who understands my type and authority and strategy, I do have to wait to respond to things. Can you explain that a little bit and what that all how that might work?
It doesn't mean you're just sitting around your house waiting for something to respond to.
Okay.
It's more so things that light you up in the sense of you're not waiting for someone to call you to go out, for example, because you'll say, hey, let's go to dinner, right? But if someone says, hey, Dana, would you like to go to dinner? Okay, that's something to respond to. Is that a yes or a no? You're like, oh, that feels great. Or, I'm in my pajamas and I want to stay home, right? And we see that with a good friend of ours who's a man-gen, and she's like, nope, that doesn't feel good to me. I'm good. So it's those types of things that you wait to respond to. So if the universe is giving you a nudge and you see the nudge and the nudge lights you up, you don't just sit and say, well, that's not a big enough sign.
Give me another sign.
I need something more concrete. I need something bigger. It's like, no, that was your sign. Either go or respond or don't.
And part of what you're saying is that in that waiting to respond is really about waiting for the emotional highs and lows to pass.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because not everyone
has that.
Has an emotional authority.
So you should check your human design and find out if
you should. So there are highs and lows for you specifically, but there are others that are sacral. And so literally it's their gut.
Instinct.
Yeah. Well, that's the spleen.
That's the spleen. Okay. So don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about.
The spleen is intuition. The spleen, if you're splenic, and I just had a client that's a splenic projector, that is like a whisper. To me, that's a tough one because it's
subtle.
Hey, it's subtle. It's like you have to feel it and the time passes. With a sacral, it's that gut and that and you feel it right then, and that's how you can respond. Now, because you are an emotional with the sacral, you have both. So you've got to hear the gut, but then you've got to ride the wave of emotion.
But typically for me, and correct me if I'm wrong, I really ride that wave when it comes to bigger decisions and more impact. Like if it's just dinner, like where you want to go for dinner, I can listen to my gut. Literally, it'll tell me what I'm hungry for.
Correct.
But sometimes if it's, spending a lot of money on something, whether that's a trip or other opportunities, I kind of have to wait and ride that emotional wave.
Correct. But you're still taking action regardless.
Yes. Yeah. So that was the thing. I was like, it sounds like I'm talking both sides out of my mouth, because we talk about you don't want to just sit around and wait for things. But some people, if you're sacral or emotional, just emotional authority, what is it in?
Which are you asking? I'm not sure what your question is.
Well, you wait to ride that wave of emotion.
Oh, that's emotional.
So if you're an emotional,
so I'm an emotional projector. So I have to ride those emotions.
Yes. But it's not like you're waiting. You've already been given something to respond to. Now you just have to figure out if it's the right thing for you or not. And that waiting to respond is your strategy, or to figure out what you're supposed to do.
Correct.
Okay. I just needed to clarify that for myself.
And it's got to feel a little bit interesting in this environment too, where it is a lot of fire energy and a lot of move forward energy. And then you're like, but I have nothing to move forward with. So that can be a challenge, I think.
So we talked about like everything you're doing to try to surrender and let go of control through the changes you're having in your life, right?
Yep.
And for me, I spent the first part of this year going, what am I doing with my life? Like,
I'm still doing that.
Well, we're all still doing that, right? I am still doing that. But there was this like, oh, you have to figure this out now, or you need to know what it is now, versus I'm in that place of trying to surrender and letting go of controlling how things are going to play out and trusting to say, all right, when the right thing comes along, I will see it, know it, and follow that. In the meantime, this is where I'm not sitting around. In the meantime, I'm going to keep doing the things that light me up as a generator. And eventually the right thing will come along if I trust and surrender to the universe. So again, that's like trying not to control the outcomes or force anything. And I'm really just being open to, okay, I mean, I could do lots of things. So, we'll see what happens.
And I have actually asked my pendulum, which is, by the way, your higher self.
Yeah.
And I'll throw my spirit team in there too, because I ask them all to come on in. Anyone who wants to answer,
everybody's
feel free.
Welcome.
Everyone's welcome. Has said what I'm going to be doing in the future I don't know what it is yet, and it hasn't come about yet. So it's also like, don't worry about it. It will come in the right timing. It's just not time yet.
It's not time yet. Yeah.
So do what you're doing, and then when it shows up, you'll know.
Well, and we've had a situation with a friend of ours come up that because I'm not doing anything quote unquote full time, I've been able to step up and help, which has felt great. So I'm like, okay, cool. This is why certain things aren't happening in my life, is because I'm needed somewhere else right now.
That's right. And that's a little bit of that trust factor as well, is that trusting you're right where you're meant to be, even if it feels uncomfortable. Because I certainly am like, I feel like I should be doing something else, but also I'm super busy.
You have no time.
I don't have any time for anything else.
You keep adding to your own plate.
I know. Not on purpose. It just happens. But yes.
Where's my granola bars, by the way?
In my fridge. And you know what? 3 times this morning I said, don't forget those, don't forget those, don't forget those.
I'm just teasing you. I'll get them later. But I just mean like you're making bread and you're making homemade granola bars.
Y'all, I made homemade granola bars. They're delicious.
They're fantastic. She's gotten me addicted to them now. So
I had one for mid-lunch.
Where's my freaking granola bars?
And I have like 7 for you. I have like a week's worth
for you.
It's
like a whole box.
Yeah, it's like a box. Okay, so anywho, control.
Yeah,
let it go.
Letting go of control.
Let it go. Sing the song if you need to.
If you're an overthinker like me, because I'm an overthinker.
Yeah.
I find ways to, again, I catch myself as the first thing. Really awareness is the first thing of it. Of like, oh, I'm on loop on this problem. And you will not find the solution in the energy of the problem. Yeah. So I do things to distract myself. So whether that's watching a show that I enjoy or that can take me out of the current situation, or if it's going outside and spending time in nature, meditating for sure always helps me get out of my head in some ways. And sometimes it's just putting on a fun song and dancing, because that works for me. So then it's like, okay, figure out what works for you to help stop that overthinking and letting go.
Something else I think that I've heard many people talk about this, so I try to do too, is sometimes we have stuck energy. And so like I walk the dog every day, and I would say there's 2 primary paths that I take repeatedly.
Yeah.
So the other day I said, you know what? I'm going to jack up this path. Like
disrupt your pattern.
I completely disrupted the pattern. And afterwards I was like, that actually felt really good. I mean, it was weird. I mean, it was weird. Like I just was walking
all over the place.
But I think that's really important. If you have a set routine, do your best to disrupt. So if you're going to your job every day and you take the same path every day, take a different path.
Yeah, take a different route.
Just because that will shake up that energy and it helps loosen things that maybe you don't even know.
Go to a different break room.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like anything little. It doesn't have to be big, but just do those little things that can maybe disrupt the routines that we get stuck in.
Yeah.
And I agree. I think that's a great way to get out of your habits
loop.
Yourself. Your loop.
We're
looping.
In a loop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I am trying to focus more on being in the moment, which is also very hard for me because I want to project what's happening 6 months from now. But I also know things are going to change considerably. And that's one thing I think we as humans get in the loop of, well, it's going to be like, basically we have our past, and our past predicts our future, but it doesn't. And so we use our experiences from the past to project, but at the end of the day, you don't know. Tomorrow could be just mind blowing. You have no idea, right? Because you haven't experienced it yet. So you don't even know to put that in your little wheel of processing and possibility because it just hasn't existed. So I'm really trying to say, well, what is it today? So you mentioned my to-dos. Yes, they grow all the time. But I say, okay, well, what can I do today? What can wait till tomorrow? And then beyond that, let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
And that is very unlike me, if you know me, because I do love everything planned out, and it's very challenging for me not to. And I do generally have a generic plan, but I also have to be open to that plan shifting and adapting based on whatever's happening.
I think that's a great example, because this is not just you. I think this is for all humans, because our mind, our brain works the same way for all humans, just like your heart works the same way in all humans, in the sense of our nervous systems are trying to feel safe.
Yep. Primary job is to try to keep us safe. So they're always on the alert for danger. And to the brain, to the mind, nervous system, unknown feels dangerous. Yeah.
So if you are someone that needs a plan, give yourself an outline of a plan.
An outline. That's good. Yes.
Like it's not filled in with all the details, but there's an outline of a plan.
Some bullet points.
If that's going to make you feel safer.
Yep.
While being open to the plan shifting as new information comes in. So for instance, your youngest needs a plan to feel safe for the next few years. He wants a couple years out roadmap.
Yep.
So we put one together for him to feel safe.
Yep.
Do I believe that plan's actually going to happen? My intuition says no. But in the case that it does, he has a plan and it's helping him feel safe right now. Yeah. As he progresses over the next several...
By the way, it helps me feel safe too.
It helps you feel safe too. As the world evolves, as our lives evolve over the next few months and we gather more information, that plan might need to be adapted. But at least in this now moment, his nervous system is more settled.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine to do.
Yep.
It's the being open to shifting the plan as new information comes in.
Absolutely.
And our brains are like, okay, I can handle that. Yeah. As we get more data, we'll change.
Yeah.
Like the brain is equipped to do that. So I think that's another way that you can help yourself settle into things. If you're someone who needs a plan to feel safe, then give yourself a little outline.
Yeah. So you might be going, this was all over the place. I don't know. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But I would say, just to sum it up, we talked about a lot of fast moving energy. We've got a lot of planets in Aries. Some will eventually start to move out, but part of that is also take some action. Don't just sit and wait for things to unfold in your life. That makes sense, but
it feels aligned.
It feels aligned, and I think that's the big part, is it feels aligned. If you know your human design, follow your strategy and authority. So you may be waiting to respond to bigger things, but that doesn't mean you can't take action on the little things. Ultimately, we call that surrendering to the universe. But what that really means is trusting in the bigger plan, having faith, keep your nervous system in check because it wants you to feel safe. And so as long as it feels safe, you'll continue moving forward and know that your team of spirit guides and higher self are with you always. You can call on them for support. And we are moving in a wonderful direction. So just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and we're going to make it to the other side, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, we're taking it one day at a time. So let's pull a card.
Okay, so what is our soul calling today? All right, well, we're just gonna reach in here. Well, the card says, am I in my head or in my heart? Much of what we just talked about. Mm-hmm. What is the quality of your self-talk? Our brain is like a muscle. If we condition it daily, the fears and limitations will take over. Mastering our thoughts is about being the creator of our own life. Where your head meets your heart is where miracles happen. So today's soul action. Today, master your mind. Watch an inspiring video, do some tapping, read an empowering book, or write out all the reasons why you believe in yourself and your dreams.
Oh, that is so Aries coded and everything we talked about. I love it.
Love it. Well, this was fun. Hope you guys could follow along and just enjoyed hanging out with us, because we sure enjoyed hanging out with you. We'll see you next time on the Cosmic Catch Up.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for catching up with us on the Cosmic Catch Up. If today's episode sparked something in your soul, hit subscribe, leave a review, and share the magic with your fellow seekers. You can hang with us on Instagram at the Cosmic Catch Up for behind-the-scenes updates and more cosmic goodness.
And if you're feeling the call to go deeper, we offer personal guidance through our individual practices. All the details are in the show notes. And if it's aligned, we trust you'll feel it. Until next time, keep following the magic. The content we share reflects our personal experiences, insights, and opinions. We're not medical, legal, or financial professionals, and we encourage you to always do your own research, trust your intuition, and seek guidance from qualified experts when needed. Take what resonates and leave the rest. This journey is yours to explore.